Hello and welcome to a very special Monday edition of Pod Save the Queen. And a little behind the scenes note for this, if you're wondering why I'm doing this on Monday, one, Better Call Saul was on, and I got distracted and like, oh, hey, I need to do that, to do Pod Save the Queen tomorrow. And two, Corey, my co-host in Arms on the network, is not feeling well, so we will have What Else Is On at a later date this week. We will still do it this week. And I said, oh, I need to do Pod Save the Queen anyway, so I'll do it on Monday. But yeah, so the shows that I watched this week, a lot of the same ones, but I did add Luther to the mix because I've heard great things about it. I love Idris Elba as an actor. I mean, he's great. I think I've first seen him as Heimdall in Thor, and I'm like, I knew he did this other, like I knew he did Luther, but it's just like, whatever. It doesn't really interest me. And then I started watching this, and I'm like, I've been an idiot my whole life. And I changed it. So I've watched the first 2 episodes of Luther, and wow is all I have to say. It's a psychological thriller, so there is some really great great psychological elements to the show as well, not just in how it's presented, here's jump scare. No, you're getting in the mind of you're getting in the mind of the of the baddies in here, and you see Luther do the same thing, and you wonder, is he good? Is he good, or has he gone too far in this? And it's just really great, really gripping drama. The show, this is one of the shows where I'm sad that I'm picking up on it at the end of its existence, because it only has the mini-series coming out next, which is going to be 2 episodes sometime in this year, and I'm just now getting into it, and it's like, Greg, you're slacking. Yes, I know, I'm sorry. But the episodes are really great. It's a little bit longer than how Sherlock is, but it's in that same structure where each season is 6 episodes for the first season, and then 4 for 2 and 3, or series. I said season. Sorry. Hard when you're American doing British TV and also American TV, you try to distinct the two, but you fail sometimes. But it's just a great, the cinematography in here is great, how it looks, because it does seem different than just a typical show. The plots, even, I mean, I could see American, I could see this being used on a CSI, or one of 50 billion CSIs, one of the 50 billion NCISs, and it be an okay plot. But here it's it works, and this is why I like British TV a lot, is because there's less filler, and it's just all good, usually all good stuff. But yeah, so that is Luther. It airs on BBC, on the BBC, and then the next show is going to be The Last Leg from Channel 4. Now, The Last Leg is one of my favorite shows, and I just wish Channel 4 aired more of the episodes, from the past series for on demand, instead of just series 1, and then now this is series 5. Because they were talking about this week, they were talking about the ISIS deal, the Islamic State of Iraq and Syria, and how who was it? I think it was either the British Prime Minister or actually no, it was the Mayor of London, Boris Johnson, compared ISIS to literally called them wankers. Like just said they're a bunch of porn addicted teenagers in a way. Like it was something like that. So it's like literally the definition of a wanker. And so they're like, yeah, this is really what they are, because I mean, here they're going to do, for the name of their religion, like and what they believe in, they're going to do this all these bad things, you know, or like kidnapping and executing people, and it's like, yeah, you're really just cowardly. And like I think Adam Hills used a quote from a general in the war, like during World War II, to back up his point. And they had even done they had a hashtag, because this is also one of the great things I love about The Last Like is they use social media really well, like way better than we do here in America, to integrate with the show. But I'll get to that in a second. But they had the hashtag rename ISIS, where people would come in with their own, like, for example, and this was Adam Hills, and I just love it because it's a thinker, and I love jokes that are thinkers. The combined United Territories of Syria. Yeah. So I'm gonna leave it right there. Just think about that for a second. Yeah, it's brilliant. And you look, and then, but so and there's a lot of great ones that the audience came up with. I loved the one that Adam Hills came up with, though. It's just like, oh, you know, it like light bulb goes click. I love those jokes. But about the Twitter integration, because this is true, I love how they integrate Twitter and social media for the show. Even I like Attack of the Show on G4, when G4 was a thing. I don't think they used social media quite like they do here, and it's like so. Like, the fans that they have on there are that come in are so great. They mention they're not afraid to make fun of themselves, like as the show, like what they failed the last week to do, or what they did last week. Like for example, they were talking about on last week's show. They were talking about the controversy, and I use the air quotes not as because I have anything against cripples or amputees or anything like that. You know, the disabled, as they were. I try to say it a little bit like Roy from the IT Crowd. But they were talking about how they had Alex Berker come out with his with a new prosthetic, which was just his spare prosthetic that had a garden scythe taped to it. And you notice, I noticed it was the first step. I'm like, okay, but the first apple looked like it was already, like, it was pre-cut. Really, it was just scored, as Adam explained. You know, we just scored the apple because it was a garden scythe, and if you don't know about garden scythes, the inside of the blade, you got the scythe that's like this. This part is sharp. This part is not. Well, they had his foot like this, so yeah. But still, great TV that they put on every week. And I would love to see an American. I hate to say this, but because I say this about every show I watch, it seems like, but I would really like to see this on America, as like import this into America, because I think it would work great. It might even work, like if it was in Comedy Central, it might even work to fill in that Friday night time slot sort of deal. Because, you know, they don't really air anything there, like, you know, in place of the Daily Show and the Nightly Show. The next show is, what was it? I'm blanking on it. Oh, Catastrophe. Yeah, the next two episodes, actually, of Catastrophe, episode 3 and episode 4 of this show that airs on Channel 4. And it gets funnier as I watch this show, and you don't see that very often. again, if you don't know what Catastrophe is about, it stars John Delaney and Sharon Horgan, who play Rob and Sharon, and I guess it's based on parts of their lives with their respective significant others. Like the long distance thing was Rob, and the meeting and then having a baby was Sharon's, I believe, is how they promoted this. But so that's the basic premise, and then the hilarity ensues, and Catastrophe, and the title strikes later, with everyone just doing these little things coming up, and just the S hits the F, as it were. The show keeps on getting better and better. Like the episode 4 has where Rob meets her parents, and it's one of them funny things. Episode 3 was him. They swung back on him being the fact that I want to say he's an ad executive or something like that. Like he's from America, and they're just trying to establish a London branch, which is really the bathroom sort of deal. Because there was a scene where he's on the phone in the bathroom, not sure if he's using the facilities or if he's just sitting there while he's on the phone in a conference call with his main office in New York, which is hilarious. And just seeing what seemed like ad-libbing. This variable seemed like it was just like, and it's great acting on Rob's part, but it's just like, wait, yeah, that's how I would do things too if I was pulling things out of my butt. There's a pun there, I think. And you look at the show, and this is just a great show. I am thoroughly enjoying the show. Easily in my top 10 overall from both American TV and British TV that I watch. I'd even go so far as to say even like in my top 5 for shows. And then finally, a show that cannot be placed on my top 10 list because it's in the Hall of Fame for me, and that is Top Gear. Top Gear this episode was an episode that I'm like, well, yeah, that's the natural progression of the build a better blank. And this one was ambulances. And all I have to say from watching this show is, and they mentioned the Jewish ambulance service thing that they have in New York City. And like how their response time is like 4 minutes to get to an accident and all that stuff. And it's privatized and all that. But because they were trying to make I believe they said the average NHS ambulance call response time is 8 minutes. And so they're trying to come up with a better solution. They're like, oh well, it's obviously the car, because they get these big, the big, when you see an ambulance, you think of the ambulance vehicle. Sorry, I had to burp. And they go and they do in their own usual way. Like Hammond got an American vehicle. Clarkson got a car because it's fast. He got a Porsche because it's fast, and they want the quickest ambulance there is. And then James May got a hearse, a British style hearse, because there's a little bit difference with there and here. And I'm watching and I'm like, okay. And they made great jokes about this too. And it's just it's just brilliant. And they even apologized for the bit that they aired last week in last week's film with the Australia episode. And that was funny. Because I'm sitting there going, they're going to admit that they didn't actually blow up a cow. Now, Jeremy's like, yeah, the cow was in no pain because it died instantly. Which was hilarious. the big star in a reasonably priced, or the star in a really reasonably priced car. Nah, wow, words. Was a Formula One driver. I love seeing the Formula One drivers because they get into it so much. Like you rarely see celebrities. Like I think Tom Cruise is one of them celebrities that he got into it when he was in there with Cameron Diaz promoting their movie Night and Day. But you rarely see the guests come there like, oh, so worried about the time. And I'm blanking on the dude's name, but the Formula One driver that they had was just a great interview, great, doing commentary or like talking about what he about his time around the track. And I'm not going to say anything about the time because it does air here in America. It'll air, but when I'm recording this, it'll air in like I think an hour and a half or so. So you could watch it then. But yeah, you'll enjoy the star. And then the news was good too. Like the Top Gear's do it. This is a good classic Top Gear episode. If I'm going to be honest here. But yeah, so that wraps it up here with the comic book. No, sorry, that was Saturday. With the British TV show Pod Save the Queen. You can follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/elsenerds. You can like our Facebook page at facebook.elsenerds.com. And if you're watching this for the very first time, hey, how about you give us a subscribe? Yeah, leave comments below on what you think I should watch. Like TV show wise, give me a network for it too. If you are from England, like give me a network associated with it so I can narrow it down and I'm not just going blah 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 blah. Oh, this is the American version. Yeah, do all that stuff. You can email us too if you don't want to just leave it in the comments out publicly at mail@elsenerds.com. Well, I've been Gregor Sprague, and we will have what we're watching weekly. Or no, sorry, we won't have what we're watching weekly. We'll have what else is on later this week once Corey's feeling better. So see you next time. Bye.